I bet you will be amazed when you know that your specific person will call you. Your specific person has already decided to call you, and if you are searching for ways to manifest a call or text from your specific person, then your search ends here. In this video, you are going to learn a powerful method that can help you manifest that text and call from them. I know it feels terrible when the person you like does not respond to your text. You both were having a really good relationship before, but then they decided to pull away from you, and it made you desperate. Now, they take longer to reply to you, and their replies are shorter than before. It looks like they are not interested in you, and it hurts you a lot. Well, if this sounds like your story, then you don't have to worry because this is going to end and they will call you no matter how your current situation is. Your current situation is changing, and you are going to change it fully. They will call you, and they will tell you how much they missed you if you follow the advice that I am going to share. You will be shocked when you understand that the situation that you are in has nothing to do with your specific person. Yes, I know it feels shocking, but your specific person has no role in all of this. You might think I am nuts when I say this, but this is 100% true. It has nothing to do with them, even if they are in no contact with you. If it has nothing to do with them, then who is responsible for all of this? Well, you would not accept it in the initial stages, but as you progress with these teachings, then you will realize that only you are responsible for your no-contact situation. I know it hurts when you hear this. You feel like, how can you be responsible for their absence? How can you be responsible for their behavior of ignoring you? Wait for a few minutes, and you will realize how this is possible. Also, keep this in mind and even print it on your body that says, if you can create unfavorable scenarios, then you can create favorable scenarios as well. Thinking that all good things are done by you and all bad things are done by another is a very stupid way of living your life. Either you become the creator of every circumstance of yours, or you become a victim of every circumstance you experience. It doesn't matter if the circumstances are good or bad. Choose to be the creator or choose to be the victim. In my opinion, choosing to be a creator is far more powerful than choosing to be a victim. What's your opinion? Tell me in the comments section. Now you might be wondering what it has to do with your specific person's situation. Well, it has everything to do with it because you are the creator of your life. That means that everything that appears in your life, everything that you interact with, is your own creation. Like you are always giving some sort of meaning to every situation. Let's say a chair is placed in front of you. The moment you witness it, you start forming a story around this chair. You start associating it with your previous experiences. You start to give it some meaning. And you start to see this chair as good or bad based upon your story. It was just a chair. The story in your mind made it something different. Well, this is the very basic level of understanding reality. I know you are relating to it, but what I am about to tell you is very shocking. Many people don't believe this at first, but when they try it and they get results from it, then they start to realize that every situation they are facing is their own creation. Also, they understand if they can create situations of getting ignored by their specific person, then they can also create opposite situations where their specific person relaxes in their arms, kisses them, and hugs them. But do you know that the reality and the circumstances that you are experiencing are manifested by you? They are manifested by you when you are imagining them. They are manifested by you when you are forming assumptions about them. The world is actually yourself pushed out. The three-dimensional world is actually a projection of you. It is the projection of the beliefs that you hold within. It is the projection of the feelings that you hold within. It is the projection of your state of consciousness. In short, your internal world manifests your external circumstances and your external reality. The world moves with motiveless necessity. By this is meant that it has no motive of its own but is under the necessity of manifesting your concept, the arrangement of your mind. And your mind is always arranged in the image of all you believe and consent to as true. I know it is a hard pill to swallow at first because when you first hear this, you start to think that you are God. If you are God, then everything is created by you. The evils of the world are also created by you. When you turn on television and see the injustice, then that is also created by you. Hearing this seems a bit weird and shocking. Am I right? This idea makes you powerful, but at the same time it makes you feel sad. Well, it is because you are thinking that your ego is God. You are thinking that your identity is God. Well, that is not God. Your identity is not creating anything. You are creating your identity. The God within you is creating this identity. The real you is God. Your awareness, your consciousness is God. You don't have to worry about evil because each person is born with this infinite power. Everyone is manifesting the circumstances of their life. You manifest yours, your friend manifests theirs, and your family members manifest theirs. We are all one, we are all consciousness, and we are all manifesting the circumstances of our lives. It is not like there is one king who is ruling every human. It is a very different concept that your intellectual brain cannot fully grasp because it is beyond logic. It is beyond the human mind's understanding. But you don't have to worry because you don't have to know fully how it is working or why it is working. You just have to use it for your own benefit. You don't know each and every part of your car. You don't know how the engine works, what all parts are there in the car, what the purpose of those wires is, and everything that is under the hood. You don't know all about it. You know something about it. But still, you use that car to travel. You use that car to make your life easier. You don't question how these wheels are running or what kind of braking system it has. You just know that you have to push the accelerator and it goes forward. You have to apply the brakes and it stops. Are you getting me? So, in the same fashion, you have to use this knowledge for your particular circumstances. You have to use it for your own good. Now, it does not mean that if the other person also has this power to manifest, then you won't be able to influence them. It does not mean that you won't be able to manifest a change in their behavior. Well, you will be able to do it all. Everything that is in relation to you can be transformed. You can manifest favorable circumstances. You can manifest changes in the behavior of your specific person. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is that you don't have to take any physical action. You don't have to apply any physical force to bring about that change. Many people think they could change others through effort. They cannot change another unless they first change themselves. To change another within their world, they must first change the concept of that other. And to do it best, they have to change the concept of themselves. For it was the concept they held of themselves that made them see others as they did. These are some golden words. You can replay this particular part again and again, and you will understand it. That is why I am telling you, you don't have to force another. You don't have to do something physically to bring that change into your reality. You are manifesting that particular behavior from that person because of the concepts you are holding about themselves. I know it feels shocking, but it is true. They behave in that manner because of the conceptions you are holding about them. Change your conceptions about them, and you will change them. If you are in no contact with them, then you have made many assumptions about them, and they sound something like, my SB is not interested in me, my SB ignores me, my SB doesn't want to be with me, and my SB doesn't make me a priority. I am just giving you an example. You might have other assumptions as well. What I am trying to tell you is that you have to change your conceptions about your specific person. Well, the majority of the YouTubers tell you this and stop here. They tell you that you have to change your specific person's story. They tell you that you have to make affirmations about your specific person and repeat them like a robot. They even charge you thousands of dollars where they just give you a list of 5 to 10 affirmations about your specific person and ask you to repeat them. You know them, you know this practice of theirs. You probably have spent hundreds of dollars in availing of these services. Now I am not saying that they didn't give you results. They showed some movement in your reality. But then again your situation changed, and you again came to the point where you started these affirmations. Maybe your specific person changed a bit, but then again they started acting cold. When you experienced this, you knew that this works, but why doesn't it last? Why it changes again and takes you to your past circumstances? Well, don't worry, I have an answer for this, and I will tell you what you have to do. No one tells you that openly. You will not hear it often, but you have to change the concepts that you hold about yourself. Yes, you have to change the core concepts that you hold about yourself first. Now, I know some of you will think and comment, how can changing the concepts about myself influence my specific person to change their behavior towards me? How will changing the concepts about myself change my specific person's attitude towards me? Well, it will do, and it will do wonders. No one tells you this because it requires some effort from your side. It requires you to change the way you view yourself, and many people don't do it. They are either too attached to their current concepts about themselves or they are too lazy. Basically, they are in their comfort zone, which is stopping them from changing their concepts about themselves. And this is keeping them stuck in a loop where their specific person is not responding to them in an appropriate manner. So, as I already gave you an example a few seconds ago where a person was in no contact with their specific person, and they formed some assumptions about their specific person that sounded like, my SB is not interested in me, my SB ignores me, my SB doesn't want to be with me, and my SB doesn't make me a priority. In such a situation, instead of speaking affirmations about your specific person, you have to identify the core beliefs that you are holding within yourself that are making you view your specific person in this particular manner. You have to analyze your situation and look at it from the lens of a third person. You have to see it from the perspective of that third person. You have to identify what beliefs you are holding that are creating this story about your specific person ignoring you. You will be shocked when you find out that you are holding some core beliefs that are working against you. Like in our example, when your reality reflects that your specific person is not interested in you, then you have a dull personality, you are not that interesting, and you are boring. When you are in a situation where your specific person is ignoring you and doesn't want to be with you, then you have a particular belief about yourself that lets them ignore you. Maybe you see yourself as someone who is not valuable, and that is why they ignore you. Then, when your specific person does not make you a priority and does not respect you, this shows that you are not making yourself a priority. You don't have any respect for yourself. When you say that you will do something and then you don't do it, then you are disrespecting yourself, and that is why your specific person is reflecting that back to you. Now, you know why your specific person is behaving in this manner. But you don't have to worry because this is not permanent. It is just a belief that you have about yourself. It is just a thought that you entertained in your mind, and then you accepted it as true that became your belief. When you had this belief, it made you look at your specific person in that particular way to reinforce this belief. The cool part is, these beliefs can be changed. I know this is a very eye-opening moment for many of you. People share this in their coaching, but I am giving it here to you for free. This channel's whole purpose is to transform your life. I have made around 500 videos where I shared something valuable, but I know it becomes complicated watching all of them. That is why I am designing a course where you will get all this complete information in a structured manner. Well, you have to pay a price for that. But I assure you it would not be thousands of dollars, and it would give you much more than the list of 5 to 10 affirmations. In the future, you will get a link to this course in my comments section. Anyways, what I was telling you is that your beliefs about yourself are the cause that forms your assumptions about your specific person, and then your circumstances reflect those assumptions. That is when you feel ignored by your specific person, and that is when you feel that you have to do something. So, never get disheartened by these situations, as they are showing you that something needs to be changed. You have to change something about yourself. You have to change a belief about yourself. If you look from the eye of a third person, then you will know what needs to be changed. Focus entirely on changing your self-concept. It does not matter if you want to have your specific person or not. Even if you think I don't want that specific person now, I will look for someone new. And then you also have to change your self-concept. I am telling you this because it is extremely crucial to change those unfavorable conceptions about yourself, as they will manifest in your new partner as well. I have seen it working with a very close friend. Let's call this friend Sophie. So, Sophie is a good person. She has that bubbly nature. She is not that hot or something. She is cute. She knows how to have conversations with others. She gives you those girly vibes. But she faces particular trouble in her life. In her college days, she got interested in a guy. At first she was not into him, but as they started to spend their time together, they started to meet frequently and talk for hours on call. She started to develop feelings for him. She confessed her feelings. Everything was going well, but the boy didn't give her commitment. Then, after a few months, the boy started distancing himself from her. She started to feel that he was pulling away. Then he started to ignore her, and they were now distant. They barely talked. She was hurt, and she too started ignoring him because her friends told her to do this. Months later, she met some other guy. It was all beautiful in the beginning. They were hanging out and everything was going great. But again, this guy left her after a few months. Then again she got sad, and she moved on to a third guy, thinking that this guy would not leave her. Again, everything started beautifully. Hanging out, going on dates, texting each other. But when they got close, again the guy left her. You can also notice that there is a pattern that is repeating in her life. Everything starts good, they get close, and then the boy leaves. I know it is hurtful, and one day she called me and she had a few drinks, and in her sad tone she asked, "Why does it happen to me?" I asked her to talk to me when she was in a stable state of mind. I knew a few things about her, and I figured out that since her childhood she was living with her mother and siblings. It was not like she didn't have a father. She has a father, but her father lives thousands of miles away from her. His father has business abroad, and he only visits his family on some occasions, and that too for a few weeks. So, in my opinion, she has an abandonment issue. She believes that she will be left alone. Maybe she needed that father figure while growing up, and when she was growing up, she saw her father coming, sharing with her those close moments, and then leaving for work and returning after a year or two. Maybe she imprinted this story in her mind where she started to subconsciously believe that men come and they come close, then they leave. Back in those days, there were no smartphones, and she didn't do video calls with her father while she was growing up. Well, I don't know in depth about her situation. She knows it better. Maybe there are other things too. But, by looking at it, I realized her story is like this only. She formed certain assumptions about herself. Maybe she believes that she is not good enough. Maybe she believes men will leave her. Maybe she believes that no men will stay with her. She has been entertaining these stories for a very long time, and that is why she is getting all of this reflected in her life. The sooner she changes these beliefs about herself, the sooner she identifies them, the sooner she starts working on herself, the sooner she will get a partner that stays. By holding certain assumptions, she is attracting certain kinds of people into her life, She is allowing them to come close and leave. All of this is not happening at the conscious level but at a subconscious level. The sooner she changes what she believes about herself and the story she is entertaining, she will then figure out the first boy she met, the first boy she came close with, was not to blame for her current situations. Even the first boy will change his behavior towards her once she changes herself. This is how you two are holding certain stories within yourself. You are entertaining those stories, playing those stories, and receiving the evidence of these stories. The people who grew up in the presence of both of their parents cannot relate to her story, but they can also figure this out. In the same fashion, you too have some stories that you think are normal because you have been accepting them for a long time. For others, they will not be able to relate to your story because they were raised differently. Now, you don't have to blame someone or circumstances. You just accepted some beliefs that served you at some point in time, and now they are not relevant to you. It is time to change them. The whole purpose of sharing this story is to show you that your beliefs are responsible for manifesting situations into your life. I think I have taken you deep enough to make you understand this. But many YouTubers will leave you with specific people's affirmations. I personally believe that the desires that come to you, the desires that want you in your life, are just telling you that you have to change your state of consciousness. You have to change your beliefs as they are no longer serving you. After all, your life is a game of beliefs. But people become desperate to have their desire to a level that they forget that they have to change their internal feelings. They have to change their beliefs. If you two are in no contact with your specific person and you want them to reach out to you, you want them to change their behavior towards you, then you have to recognize that you need to change your beliefs about yourself. You need to identify the beliefs that are not serving you. In short, you need to change your identity, and that is what I will talk about in my upcoming course. As you change your identity, you change your world, and the chances of getting your desire maximize. You will land in a situation where you no longer desire it because you get something 1,000 times better than your previous desire. So, start writing down your current situation. Write what you feel right now about your specific person. Write what you feel about your situation and then observe them. You will recognize that you are holding certain beliefs. Make affirmations for these beliefs and start repeating these affirmations. You have to repeat them till it changes your feeling state. You can also repeat some affirmations about your specific person. But always remember, the majority of the affirmations have to be about yourself. These affirmations have to be about your self-concept, and the rest, a very small portion of your affirmations, have to be about your specific person. Always remember this quote: do not try to change people, they are only messengers telling you who you are. Revalue yourself, and they will confirm the change. There are other methods as well. Using guided meditation is one such method that gives me tremendous results, and it will also give you those tremendous results as well. Actually, I have made a guided meditation that has helped many people to manifest a call from their specific person. They have shared their experiences in the comments section. You can find this video by clicking on the first video that now appears on the top right corner of the screen.